Hey, it's Lee again. How's it going, guys? Peace and love. I'm here in the forest with my brother, my physical, biological brother, Andrew.
Greetings.
And today we've decided to get back in nature. It's Saturday, and we want to escape from, you know, the city, the stress, the energies that are multitudinous, and you know, both happy and sad, both angry and hopeful, etc. Here is a coming back, and I can only recommend, if you have the privilege, the ability to go to nature as often as you can, the medicine that it gives to the soul. I mean, just look at the beauty for a second here. It's a holy magnificence. This is God's creation. Listen to the wind talking. There's so many animals and plant life. I've seen deers here and all sorts of little critters, all sorts of birds. I've even felt the presence of beings that were not biological, that were in other dimensions, that are, you know, kind of like elves, kind of like gnomes. And they've been around. They've made little notifications of themselves. And that sounds strange because we're taught it's fairy tale since we're kids. But the hidden secret of the fairy tale is to say to us that it's not exactly a fairy tale. So that that's going to be a whole nother talk I'll have on the validity of that. But that's a mystery of the whole thing. What we want to prove with science and what we want to just enjoy and understand as possibilities. Anyway, the forest is a holy place. So, there's my brother. So I want you to repeat what you were saying a second ago, if you can remember it, or do it in other words. Just talk about the beauty of the forest and what it means to you.
What does the forest mean to me? Well, it's kind of like forgetting yourself and being reborn again. You know, all these stresses of the real world, as we call it. It's nice to come here and kind of recharge our batteries, so to say. And
nice.
Very seldom do we really get in touch with this in our day-to-day lives, living in the city and the hustle and bustle of going to work and picking the kids up from daycare and making the suppers and doing the laundry and our daily responsibilities. So I don't know, when I come here, it's not necessarily that I forget who I am or I lose any sense of myself, but maybe that I get a greater sense of myself because I'm able to think about the more important things that I don't have the opportunity to really stop and ponder on in great detail on a day-to-day basis. And you know, you were talking about elves and gnomes and stuff just now, and in the forest particularly, you know, not I think all different parts of nature might have their own subtle nuances that might make you feel different things, and I think in the forest I feel like I'm the Sasquatch or I'm the gnome, and something's gonna discover me, not that I'm gonna discover something else.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm a mystery waiting to be discovered by who knows what else, but also by myself, which is perhaps more important. So.
Oh yeah, I love what you just said. It's a matter of we think we're the kings and the queens of the planet. With we're the boss of material nature. We're the top of the food chain. No one can defeat us. And yeah, we forget that we also are vulnerable. We also are being viewed and discovered. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like nobody knows where I am right now, other than my brother. My wife knows I'm at my brother's house. She doesn't know I'm at the forest right now. Nobody knows where I am. Nobody knows where my brother is. Just each other. So it's very much your own little world, especially in the forest. It's so different, you know, like I was saying about different natural places. The forest is different because you're inside of it. You know, if you go to the mountains or the desert, mountains can be somewhat similar, but in the forest, you know, as you walk through the ranks of trees, you're really entering something, you know. It's like a lice on a head. You look at these trees, they're like big hairs, and you're just a little bug wandering through here. It's a really interesting perspective to have, rather than looking down at everything else, you know. Rather than being the doctor looking for the lice, to be looking up and wonder what type of doctor might be looking at us, you know, i.e. God or any type of energy or person or individual.
And you feel too that the forest is a medicine. It has healing potencies,
Absolutely. Look at this place. Especially when you get these sections like this where there's a portion of open area and you look around and you're just surrounded by walls of trees. And you know, we came from this direction over here, so I feel less inspired when I look this way, but when I look the directions we've been heading towards, I'm not that familiar with this area here in Gatineau, Canada, so I don't know how far the forest goes on any side. You know, I can kind of hear some cars in the background sometimes, but you know, if I look in this direction, for example, I don't know how far the forest goes there. I don't know if there's a street just beyond those trees. I have no idea. So it's really a great sense of adventure in the forest. You know, if you're in the desert, you know, it's a different mystery because it's a great open land, and if you can look out to the horizon and you just see where the sky meets the desert. I've never really been to the desert much, so I'm just imagining, but that's got to be a very a similar but also different type of experience to
or say like even on the beach. I mean, there's a lot of water. The desert doesn't necessarily have a lot of water, but even on the beach, it's a whole different experience. You have the sun going down, the sunset on the horizon of the water. It's very magical.
Yeah, I don't know, many times looking out to the water and thinking like what type of world might be out there, and you think of when, you know, back in history when people first started settling out and exploring the world. So, and of course I always reflect these things to my own personal soul search, and you know what can be a metaphor for what type of pieces of myself are beyond those trees, or you know, where the sky meets the water or the sand. You know, what part of myself can I find if I find the bravery to venture out just a little bit further. It's a little bit cold out, but you know, I'm going to push just a little bit further and see what type of discoveries I can make.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So in other words, it's like saying that exploring nature is exploring the self. It is very much is true.
Absolutely.
And a return to innocence also. You know, this is such a pure state. What God has done with His creation, you know, the cycles and then the natural perfection, as it were, and compared to the destruction and the disharmony that we cause while still in our learning state. Eventually we're meant to go back to this kind of life. I don't mean we're all going to have to live in tribes and live in the forest. That alternative might not even be bad, but our reciprocating of the ancient wisdom of the ways and the cycles of God and the natural creation, the perfection of things. It's amazing, and this is just one planet, right, Andrew? think of who knows the things we have yet to see and behold, or already did behold, perhaps. That's a mystery in itself too.
Yeah, that's a good point. Talk about forests and deserts. What type of other landscapes exist elsewhere?
Exactly.
That we're unaware of.
Who the heck knows? Swimming through purple bubble mud or something. Who knows? So that's just a quick video on nature. We're going to continue our walk, and I really enjoyed the talk. Excellent words from my brother, and more videos to come, guys. Hope you enjoy. Take care.
Bye-bye.